Hola, bon dia. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal show. Sexta-feira, the only day with sex in it, as I like to say in Portugal, SEXTA. Bon fin de semana, we're heading towards the weekend, and we are in celebratory mood today because we are celebrating a very notable wedding anniversary in our community, a moving and a birthday, and we're celebrating life as well because, of course, that always happens when Jenni B is here. Jennifer Baraki from Healthily. How are you?
Good morning, buen dia a todos. I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, very, very good. It's a beautiful day here in Portugal. The builders are in downstairs. It could be a little bit noisy, but we're going to take that in our stride. And our conversation today, Jenny, I thought we would take a look at this idea of, how we're coming out of the Portuguese deconfinement post-pandemic, if we dare call it that, and check in with our community, see how people are doing. This idea of the old normal, new normal. How do we cope with the shock of the last year? How do we let it go? How do we move into the future and create the sort of future we really want? Would that be a useful agenda today, do you think?
Yes, and like you've mentioned, celebrate all of that.
Woo! Okay, that's what we're going to do today then. I'm going to get some things out of the way this morning because the SEF not instructors, I suppose they could be instructors, couldn't they? But the Estrangeiros Frontier Force, the border police, really, inspectors and employees are on strike today, the 7th of May, 2021. Okay, so this from Safe Communities Portugal. SEF inspectors and employees started a strike at midnight today, this morning, in all workplaces in protest against the government's intention to extinguish the security service. So very interesting there. Not going to go too deeply into that, but if you have any dealings with the SEF today, it's not going to happen. They are on strike, fighting for their corner and their position. So much of that in the world. This is the context, the background, isn't it, Jenny, that we're dealing with? People, in quite a lot of conflict and turmoil in many places. So it's very important that we're here this morning talking about how to center, how to find your joy and inner peace. This is what you do. For people who don't know you, tell us how you do that, and about this very important opening of the healing tent. Is it the transformation tent?
Yes.
Tell us about that and yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm Jenni Baraku. For those who don't know me, I am founder of healthily. The name already tells us a little bit about it. So my whole theme about it is to create holistic health within and around you. That implies a lot of balance and centering and grounding, like you said. I am a trained and reformed pharmacist. I am a psychologist. I did a lot of nutritional science in my life. So all this gives me this wholesome picture of a human being, plus my own experiences and the roller coaster of life I was pleased to ride. And now I'm supporting other people with my experience to find their inner peace and ground. And I am able to announce that finally my transformation therapy healing tent, whichever way you want to call it, is up. And so I am soon able to invite people into this sacred, beautiful space. Also, not just because the tent is up, but also because, like you already mentioned, the deconfinement, we will hopefully have some opportunities to meet in person soon. So my workshops will not be only online, so I can finally meet people there, and we can have group sessions and one-to-ones and the whole lot, and just enjoy and celebrate life and ourselves. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So whoever's interested in that, give me a call.
Come on down. Okay, this is great. This is really great. And I feel better already just hearing about it. Because I guess our healing attitude in our current sort of industrial society is you go and get fixed, don't you? Go to doctor, get fixed. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. This is not a polar thing. This is about, an addition, complementary, additional, or not alternative. This is about what else can we bring into the mix to enjoy life more fully. I mean, is that not what we're here for? And when Jenny's talking about it, I'm thinking, I want to go to that tent. which is not often what I think if I'm thinking about going to the doctor or the dentist. You know, they're fixing you up, aren't they, and sorting things out, and you're thinking, I don't really want to go. But like Jenny's like, yeah, I want to go. I'm there already. That's fantastic. Point of order from the north of Portugal this morning. We're entering deconfinement and exiting confinement. Sorry to be a pedant. No pedant should ever have to apologise for being a pedant. Unless they get too pedantic, of course, and then they should definitely apologise. But no, that's an acceptable level of pedantry this morning from our beloved Mark up in the north in Povoa de Varzim. So absolutely right. So we're in the deconfinement process, aren't we? And exiting our confinement, of course, which is what pregnancy used to be called, didn't it? Confinement. And in a way, we are coming out of a kind of a pandemic pregnancy. You know, all that's there, and something new to be born post-pandemic. And I know I'm getting a bit ahead of myself saying post-pandemic because, you know, for many people it's not behind them. But I am egging that pudding, if you like, and I think that's a good Portuguese turn of phrase, to egg a pudding. Let's talk in those terms, if only for this morning. Now, some lovely announcements this morning. Let's first of all go to, actually, let me just come back and take the pedantry alert off the screen for just one moment, and we'll come round to all your lovely greetings this morning. But I would like to say, this is a message in from Chris Levings, who would like me to say to daughter Livy and family, good luck with the move today, moving into their new home in Coimbra. That's today, I believe. And it's Sheldon's birthday as well, on the 10th of May. So happy birthday, parabéns in advance to you, Sheldon, and all the best to the family. Daughter Livy from Chris, lots of love to you. Good luck with the move and all happiness in your new home and life in Portugal, whereupon you've relocated from California. So how nice is that? And I believe also that Mum Sian and Sister Lucy are on the way to help out as well. So what a lovely family gathering. And I think Chris is going to be there in the mix at some point soon as well. So shout out, Chris, if I haven't included somebody there in error. But I think that lots of love to you all in your move. And may you be very happy in your new home in Coimbra. Okay, that's that lovely family. Let's move on to another one. And I have to, I don't have to, I want to. I so want to celebrate these two folks who are absolute, Jenny knows them. Look, here we go. We have the happy 30th wedding anniversary to Linda on the left, obviously. Linda is there, along with Gary, the Austins this morning. Lots of love to you both on this amazing 30th wedding anniversary. They don't quite know how it happened, you know. You know, the love is in the air everywhere I look around. And, so, yeah, happy wedding anniversary to you both. Mainstays, pillars of the Good Morning Portugal community, absolutely. We've been doing the wine club together for all these months, and Gary gets spotted as one of the blokes from the man cave around the place. Absolutely integral parts of this community. Have a great day. What a lovely thing. And we do have some photos from the wedding.
And Carl.
Go on, Jenny.
Us too. Our connection is, we owe this to Gary as well. He was the one who brought us together.
That is so true. I thought for a moment you were going to tell me I'd forgotten our wedding anniversary, Jenny. And I think, hold on, I'm not married to Jenny. I'm married to Mrs. M, who I celebrated with this week. Okay, good. I got it. But yes, if it wasn't for Gary, he is such a good egg, isn't he? He's a good egg. We're egging again. We're talking about eggs. He's a good egg. In the middle of things, in a very gentle, kind, and subtle way, as they both are. Beautiful people. Hoping that you have a beautiful day today. And we have some fabulous pics here. Let's have a look at this one, and I'll tell you what's going on here in just a moment. Isn't this great? Why are you laughing, Jenni B?
I love the hair.
This is when I asked her to marry me on Halloween. That's an interesting twist, isn't it? On Halloween, by the following May, we were in the Seychelles getting married. So let's have a look at that picture next. So here they are in the Seychelles getting married. Look at that sky. Isn't that lovely? He's cutting a dash there as well. Look at his barnet as well. Fabulous. And look at this towards the end of the day. Gary, I've got my woman here. Oh, fantastic. And a beautiful portrait of Linda. Look at this. Isn't that lovely as well? I'm tearing up here, guys. Stop it, because this is so beautiful. 30 years is an amazing achievement. I don't want to, what do you say? I mean, it's wonderful that people are together, committed to each other in this way, and an example. to everyone, of commitment and all lovely things. And I asked them about their tips for a healthy marriage last night. One of them, obviously the wonderful idea of not going to bed on an argument, sort it out before you go to bed, which is great. Work at it, I think, was Gary's very practical intervention as well. And it's true, it's very true. This is not what the priests tell you, and not what you find out or thinking about in the honeymoon. You've got to work at it and stay. What? Stay friends. Stay friends was Linda's advice as well. Isn't that beautiful? Stay friends, which they obviously are. And Linda's given Gary a poster, apparently, of the night sky, exactly how the night sky looked on this day 30 years ago. The constellation that shone upon them on that beautiful day. Isn't that amazing? So lots of love to you both. Gary and Linda, the Austins, a happy 30th wedding anniversary to you both. Super dupes.
Love.
Yes. It doesn't take much to get me and Jenny going, does it? Okay, right. Right. Okay. Bon dia from Spain. From Denise Johnson this morning. Penny, bon dia alegria, happy Pearl. It's the Pearl wedding anniversary when you get to 30th, of course. To Gary and Linda, have a fabulous day. I'm just glad myself to have got to the paperclip anniversary earlier this week, or whatever it is, number 8. But Pearl wedding, incredible. Paul Richards, greetings from Aragat. Sunny, great webinar. Sunny Aragat, great webinar last night. Lots of useful information. Oh, that's great. That was the Ask Our Expats gathering last night. The Ask Our Expats team were superb, I have to say. Hola, namaste. Here we go. Watching from Nepal. Namaste to you, my friend Madan, as well. Isn't that beautiful? Saying that phrase, from the place of its origin. So beautiful. And we might perhaps dwell on that, Madan, namaste. Could you explain what it means in your culture? Let's come back to that.
But do you know what it means? I was going to ask you.
I think I have my appropriated idea of what it means, as in I see God in you. I see life. I see all good things in you, as I hope to see in myself. Is it along those lines?
Yeah, it's like my divinity sees your divinity. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that, can you? Let that be a prayer for the day. Bon dia from a partially cloudy Pavor de Vajim. Imagine saying that every time you see somebody. I mean, where I'm from, people say hello. That begins with hell. Let's.
Good morning. Terrible.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah.
Bon dia from Stephen Wells this morning. Nigel Henry. Good morning, Paul here. Morning all from Oxford, from Nigel Henry. Penny's here with a lovely greeting for me and the family as well. We're moving this weekend, so the Caldash countdown continues. Thank you, Penny, for that. Bon dia from Carlos Costa this morning. Paul and Louise. Hola, bon dia, alegria. Well done. Michelle, bon dia from a sunny Nottingham this morning. That's good to hear. Place of lace making originally in Nottingham there in the UK. Bon dia, Carl and Jenny from Setúbal, from Sandra. Amazing Setúbal, where the wild boar swim in the sea and dolphins jump about as well, also in the sea, obviously. Good morning, Carl and Jenny. I think anyone who needs some healing, you must book an appointment with her. This is with Jenny. And the healing tent. Can we have a look at the healing tent, or is it too sacred to do that on our next connection?
On our next one, we can. Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. All right. She is amazing, and will definitely help you. It will. Look at that. That's very Yoda. Definitely help you. It will. That sounded like a Welsh Yoda there, didn't it? Bon dia, meninos amorosos. How beautiful, Marcos. Get you. Thank you very much. And bon dia from Joel as well. A simple bon dia from Joel up in Matosinhos. Morning. I'm up for that, Jennifer. Jacqueline is ready for the tent. Who else is ready for the tent? Morning, lovelies, from Corrie as well. Hey, Corrie. Don't mention dentists. Offer a wisdom tooth extraction today. That was hilarious last night. There is a political rivalry that goes on in the after party of the wine club. And Cheeky Doug from Wales said, when you have your wisdom tooth taken out, will that mean you vote Tory? Never! For Penny, I suspect. I won't tell you what she actually said to him. Denise in New Zealand, good evening. And good evening to you. Good morning, good evening. Namaste. is what I'm going to go with you, Denise. And happy wedding anniversary from Debbie. Here we go. Happy wedding anniversary to the Austins. Jacqueline, nice voice. I think that is to you, Jenny. What a shout out. Thanks so much, says Livy. Thanks so much, all. Thanks, Dad, for doing that. Made us smile. I'm so glad there is the actual Livy here with us now, moving to Coimbra. You lucky things. And happy birthday as well on the 10th there. I love the pics, Gary, from Debbie Doos. They were crackers, weren't they? We need just one more quick look at those. My favourite, I think, is the sunset one. That's what she's talking about. Isn't that beautiful? Parabéns for your pearl wedding anniversary, Gary and Linda. May you enjoy many more years together. Beautiful, beautiful. And Susan is here. Good morning, Portugal. That was me wishing a happy anniversary to Linda and Gary last night at the end of the wine club. Thank you very much, Facebook user Susan. My name didn't show, so saying it again. Hi, excuse me. Hi, Carl and Jenny. Bon dia. Maria Costa from the team last night. Good morning from Tomar. Anyone else having issues logging into the show this morning? I hope not. I hope those are healed quickly. Do you do tech advice in the tent as well?
That's the right one to ask. Yeah, definitely.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone is the tech advice from the tent. Happy wedding anniversary, Gary and Linda from Sandra. Wishing you many more years. No more stay. Namaste. Just kidding. No more stay. Stop it, Joel. Rita, bon dia to you. Rita, thank you for that. Will Thompson. Hey, bon dia, Carl and Jenny. Good to see your faces and be able to say hello. Great to see you, Will. What a star you are, mate, battling it out in court yesterday. I think it went well. On to the next stage for Will Thompson. Buoyant, again, you may like to know that. Will has been amazing over this last year. What a guy. I mean, the heart of a lion, you have to say. What an amazing fella. So well done yesterday, Will, and looking forward to the how this unfolds with you. Edmundo from the Algarve. Hola, bon dia. Good morning to you, Edmundo. John Rooney. Hello, John. Bon dia. Sun is out here in Shropshire. Probably snow this afternoon. Absolutely. And Gary, the man himself, is here. Bon dia from a bright and totally lovely Alvazra. Thanks for all the lovely messages and comments. Lovely people out there. You deserve every one of them, Gary. Gary was a handsome. What do you mean was, Debs? He still cuts a that. Look at that profile pic. He's smouldering there. Bon dia, alegria a todos from Jordinja. Jacqueline, rewind, Carl. You actually sung a little tune for a moment. Oh, nice voice. I see. Love is in the air. Jenny has a nice voice too. We'll sing for you at Christmas, maybe. A Christmas concert. Can you imagine when we have a Frohe Weihnachten and we can sing Silent Night in German together? No, okay. Bon dia, the sun is out in London. Yay! From Iris, please mention dentists. Hope replacing a crown is cheaper over there. It is. Talking to my friend Josh from Expats Everywhere. Sorry, I will let Jenny speak in just a moment, but he's always lovely greetings coming in. Josh at Expats Everywhere was having a bit of dental work, and I said, it's not a problem for us English people. We never go to the dentist, as you can probably see. And he said, is it true? Is it true you English people gargle with tea? I said, no, usually, tea or beer. Usually, and then there's the decade visit to the dentist every now and then. But good luck with that, Iris. It's definitely cheaper in Portugal. Josh was saying this. The dentistry, excellent standards, very good value. Bon dia from the Royal Borough of Greenwich, London, from Capricorn 12. Can't wait to get back to Sagres. The Royal Borough of Greenwich, London, where the Meridian is, of course. And Debbie Doos, just finally for now, he was model material back then. James Bond style look. Have we got the equivalent picture then? There's the Bond lady, the femme fatale of the Bond there, and there he is. Ding, 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 ding. Have you got an official portrait from that time? Okay, normal. I don't think we can really we don't have any credentials to talk about normal, do we? Jenny here, or any of us in this community. What do we say about normal?
I will say something to that in a minute, but can I just say something to all the comments and Carl, also give all my blessings and wishes to you. You just cracked the year number 8 with your lovely Mrs. M, which is also something to congratulate for. Well done. You hit the magic 7 already. So you're over that. Yeah. So it can't go much wrong.
It wasn't too itchy.
Advices from Gary and Linda now. Now you got no excuses, huh?
That's right. Yeah. Well, 7 years wasn't too itchy. We got through it. And every year we ask each other, do we want to do this for another year? It's quite a good review. It's like, having the review at work, going into the office. Can I speak to you in the conservatory for a minute? And, how do you think you've done? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Hopefully with you, darling. That sort of thing. Yes. Okay, thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then before I got back to normal, another thing in regards of the namaste and the good morning, you can also say good rising, which is much more beautiful, and you can already tell by rising that your body goes much more up and open than the good morning.
Yes, yes.
Talking about
I know.
language and vocals and the connection to your body and the body response of it.
Indeed.
And another beautiful thing for all the ones who are related in any way, shape, or form regarding namaste, if you want to do something really beautiful to someone that means something to you, give them a kiss on the forehead, because that is equivalent to a kiss right to the soul. And I think that is a beautiful thing to do.
I love doing that to my kids and to my wife, and I think in the past I've been told, probably by grown women, that like, don't kiss me like a granddad, kiss me here, honey, and but yeah, let's not go into that right now. But a kiss on the forehead, I have been accused of being a bit grandfatherly, but what's wrong with that? It is that is from that great place of grandfatherly or grandmotherly love, isn't it? A kiss on the forehead, that's bang on, Jenny, perfect advice.
Yeah.
And we urge people to try it. Seek their consent and permission first. Obviously, not complete strangers, especially at the moment. Can you imagine if you drop your mask and kiss someone on the forehead in Lidl? There's going to be trouble. So be careful how you do that. But for the right person, right time, that's going to be absolutely beautiful. Lovely.
Yeah.
And the point you make is very, very interesting. What we have in our language, we almost cast spells when we speak, don't we? So we do have to be careful about the language we choose.
Absolutely. There's so many things, and you can only if you close your eyes and think about what if you say to yourself love or yes, what your body does, and on the other hand, if you close your eyes and you say no or hatred, what does that do to your body? It's like tension, yes. And on the other hand, love and yes opens you up, and you go like, yeah. What's going where?
It's beyond the words, isn't it? It's beyond the words. Yeah. I was thinking, I have this ongoing thing, my relationship to the Creator, the divine. I'm going to use the G word, everybody. Calm down. I'm going to say God on the Good Morning Portugal show. It might even be that the word good comes from God. But as I was making a coffee this morning, I was thinking about this thing, because I really love having conversations with people about what they believe to be or what they experience as the divine, the Creator, and so on. And what I realized this morning is that a 3-letter word just sells it too short. It's a ridiculous thing to try and summarize the Creator, whatever you believe it to be, the divine, the universe, source, or any of these words, and all of them are all too short and small, and they are human shorthand, aren't they? Trying to squeeze, as we do as us rational human beings, trying to squeeze the most infinite, universal, beautiful thing into a tiny little word so we can get it out of the way. I was just thinking, whenever I want to refer to that thing that people refer to as God, universal Creator, I'm going to go into probably a full-on poem that lasts for 5 minutes I'm just going to be inconvenient. I know that, and it's going to be very boring for my family. But it's not enough, is it, to use just one word when we're summing up this most beautiful force, power?
I agree, but I also had a discussion with a friend the other day where I was stating again my opinion that I truly believe that when at some point language came into our lives, it is a blessing and a curse at the same time, because I think the truly deeply important things in our life, they are not to be expressed with words. Yes. And it's so hard to find this alignment and this connection, which probably you and Miss M have, which probably Gary and Linda have, and we have with our kids, with our really close ones. But I was wondering what it takes in general for a deep connection to happen. And there's this, because sometimes, somebody fancies someone and then it doesn't happen. And what happens then if the connection is actually there? How does that happen? And then I was thinking about, there's this certain openness in the eyes. And of course, the eyes are the causeway down to your soul. But even more than this, I think it's the open heart and the courage to show yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
As one of us, in whichever relationship, in a friendship, in a parental relationship, in a romantic relationship, somebody needs to make this first step in order to show yourself vulnerable, not fearing the potential hurt that can be in it. But again, what would life be if we always live in the if and buts? We would never go outside. And that kind of, for me, comes back and draws the circle back to our normality and COVID. And what I was already saying in the panel discussion, is it not just another really threatful thing out there that can potentially kill you if you're really low in your state? But there's so many of these things out there, and at the end, eventually my roof is going to collapse down on me. So not even my house is a potential safe place. So where the only real safety you will find is within yourself, and knowing this, you don't have to fear anything. And is it worth to cut down your normality and your life quality so extensively that you are constantly looking out for, what could potentially happen? I mean, so many things could happen.
Oh, yes.
And in our society, we are so trained on finding in that field of flowers, we're so trained to find that one hump of dog shit in the middle of it. Whereas I try to help people to find in that big pile of shit this one flower that's growing, because that's, I think, what truly helps you to try to stay in the positive pathway, in terms of not this fake positivity that's out there all the time, like, I'm not getting angry, I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm not talking about that. Still real life, huh? But that your brain and your whole system is generally more drawn and more focused to a solution-orientated state, and to how to get out of whichever uncomfortable state you're in without pushing it away, but overcoming it and processing it in order so you will feel centered and grounded and part of life and loved again.
Beautiful. That's a shitty analogy, but very good at the same time, if you don't mind me saying so. And I mean, basically what you say is look for the flower instead of the poo. I think is fantastic. That's why she's here, everybody. Pardon our language this morning, but it always happens when she's here. Jenni B from Only Healthily is here. A lovely necklace, and the print on the wall is being that is very beautiful. Is that from the Far East? Is that
And that is actually from a really dear friend of mine who is a wood carver, and this is bone. He carved it for me out of bone, and it is a Maori mania, which is the equivalent to the Indian Ganesha, so something really protective.
Oh my goodness, that's
right here on my heart.
And that is an incredible piece of work, isn't it?
Yes,
absolutely
and
lovely.
You can see down there, there's a little heart as well. Do you see that?
Hold on. Oh yes, what an incredible piece of work. What can you say this person's name? Are they commercial, or was it just friend to friend?
It is a really close friend, but I know he's not a big fan of being out there, so okay. I wouldn't want to give
No. We will respect his privacy and admire his work from afar. That's fabulous. Susan, this is a message from Susan now. We send you love, Susan, with this. My old dad passed away last Sunday after a year of being bedridden. A strange combination of relief and grief. I totally get that, Susan. Yeah. Hopefully my parents' souls reunited for their anniversary. Oh, so it would be their anniversary and reunited on May the 10th. I never really know what to say, when people pass away and how people deal differently with their grief, Susan. But I definitely can relate to relief and grief when you have an elderly relative like that and someone who's been bedridden. But what can we say apart from lots of love to you? When this has happened to you and to your family. So all the best in your process with that, Susan.
Susan, may I say something?
Yes.
So in South American cultures, people believe that the butterflies represent our ancestors, and it's a really great time at the moment. There's loads of butterflies out there. So next time, Susan, he only left his physical body anyway, in my belief. So the energy is still there, and now all around you in perfect health and perfect grace. So next time a butterfly passes you, bless him. It's your daddy or potentially your parents greeting you.
I've experienced this sort of thing, Jenny, and it is remarkable, isn't it? And then because if you make that association, then each time you see a butterfly, it's there, isn't it? Your love is reignited, and because the love doesn't die, does it? And I know this is, this can sound like a platitude to people who are in early or recent grief, and I don't mean it to sound like that, but that is my experience of that. What you say there, beautiful, Jenny. Thank you, Elaine. Morning all from sunny East Algarve. Hi, Jen. I think you're friends, aren't you, both of you? And maybe the tent will be making a journey to the Algarve at some point. I think there's some great transformational going on in Elaine's community down there for sure. Debbie, Susan, I'm very sorry and condolences. Please feel free to contact Sharing Care Portugal. There you go. If you want to connect with Debbie and the wonderful work that her and her team do at Sharing Care Portugal. Lovely, Debs. Thank you. Capricorn 12. That means we got married on the same day in the same year. No way. May the 4th be with you. Absolutely, Capricorn 12. Is there a bit of a sci-fi vibe going on there? Me and Mrs. M didn't choose that date because we're Star Wars fans, and we didn't have a bridesmaids dressed up as stormtroopers or anything. Well, that would have been good. But my favourite thing, a wedding on the 4th of May should go. But no, 7 years flew by. Absolutely, Capricorn 12. Happy anniversary. Buon anniversario to you as well. Fabulous. Paul Richards. Question for Jenny. Is normal boring? So that's a great question. Thank you very much, Paul.
It is a great question. I was already thinking, well, normal is whatever you make out of it. Normal is usually your reality, but there are 7 billion plus realities out there. Well, in India, there's a couple less at the moment. So we stay with 7 billion, I'm guessing. So everybody has his own perspective there, and then everybody has his own normal. And usually what you experience is your normal, but it might be completely different to you, Carl, my normal. Like for me, green unicorn smoothies are absolutely normal. And for you, they might be a bit, there you go.
I get the point.
Yeah. So, and also I have it lots of times in conversations, particularly things you've just been scratching. So the big G word or even now the pandemic and post and pre-pandemic and apocalypses and all these things, anything basically, when you talk to others, particularly in the way we're thinking, like the path is our brain go, we think that's normal. That is how everybody thinks, isn't it? But then you start talking to people and then you look at them and you go like, hold on a minute, I can clearly see that question mark on top of the head. So what is going on there? Where was the cut? How can they not follow? Is it not just normal to think like this? Yeah. And particularly in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, for you, it might be normal not to touch any of the dishes. Even the dishwasher has been ready for 5 hours.
What are you talking about? What is that thing you mentioned?
For Miss M, it might be absolutely normal not to place any of the dishes on top of the counter other than straight into the dishwasher. Why? Because everybody has his own perspective of normal, and a lot of that is based in our upbringing. Yeah. But no normal needs to be set as that. Normal is always relative, like Einstein said already, and it's also adjustable. So the normality, which has been my normality and reality back when I was 16, is not my reality and normality from today. And that's also a great thing. And I think it's an important thing to know that, again, it's only what you make out of it. Your whole world, your whole reality is only what you make out of it. So if you perceive normal as boring or your life as boring, there's definitely something you can do about it. Get your adventure out of it, unless you're enjoying it. If you really like to, boring is so connected so negatively, whereas I think boring can also be a blessing where just nothing happens.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely right. Yeah, because I think possibly in our culture, too much is made of excitement and constant, being somewhere else, being someone else. And actually, shout out to all the normal and vanilla people of the world who are holding things together, because I think there is this tremendous pressure to, like, think what's wrong with you or what you need to improve. When actually, I think what you're referring to, Jenny, the daily round, the common task, the way of the householder, just to keep that stuff together for people and a family or your loved ones. If that's normal and you're doing a great job on that, please, take some pride or feel some love in that, because that's actually an amazing thing that people are doing what it looks like normal and possibly boring, when in fact they're doing an amazing job in holding everything together. So I think there's definitely two sides to boring, aren't there? And it can be, if it's a self-judgment or a judgment of others, it sounds like it's going into the kind of negative and difficult and maybe transformational territory there. But great question, Paul.
You said something really valuable there, which I think is really can't be emphasized enough. Speaking in terms of our world that is so overstimulated constantly, and it always needs to be bigger, faster, greater. Plus, so much, particularly the last year, even more is happening in the social media out there, and this is so much fake anyway. I mean, honestly, where back where before the pandemic you could rent a yacht just to take a picture to put it on Facebook. Now you don't need that anymore. Now you can all do it with some sorts of software online. It was crazy. The other day I had to make like a picture, which I want to give to you as well, because the one you always use is awful. Anyways, so I had to take the background away, and I was looking for that online, and then I did that, and it worked. And all of a sudden there was all these suggestions where to put my face then, like in Bali, somewhere. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I can make a whole world trip actually now and put it out there. And the funny thing is, people believe that. People believe what they see there on Facebook. It's just as much BS, huh?
Yes, well said.
Very good. It's just as much BS as they make it. So don't believe in that, and don't compare yourself with it. And exactly what you said, the things that seem to be so normal and boring, like managing a household, your children getting up in the morning, getting dressed, getting shaved, all these tiny little things. There's so many things, but you can be proud for that. It's coping with life, and we absolutely perceive this as normal, but you already did something when you got the garbage out. You already did something when you got your kids ready for school. You already did something when you do this show here, and all these things. Like, be gentle with yourself and remind yourself of all the tons of things you're doing every day. Every day.
Hats off to anyone who can manage to shave all their children before school and get them to school on time. That is fantastic, Jenny, for sure. Okay, there you go, Paul. I hope that is a useful answer to your question. Stephen says we're talking about love and God now. Absolutely brilliant here on the Feel Good Friday show with Jenni B here from Holy Healthy. Aim to rise in love rather than fall in love. Good advice from. I think Stephen's in the transformation world as well. Great, thank you, Stephen, for that. And it sounds like what the Austins have done. They've continued to rise in love after, I suspect, falling in love at first, and it happens, doesn't it? But then to take, to fly and fall in love, and then to keep soaring up on the thermals, maybe the way ahead. God will be judging you when you have to put that mankini. When you have to put on that mate. Yes, I realise it won't only be God judging me. There will be many people judging me when I put on that gold mankini. But I've yet to see the evidence, Debbie. You're taunting me with this. But when is this woman cave starting? Really? Come on.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Whatever. What's been referred to there is we have a man cave on a Friday night. These are the best mates you never knew you had and probably didn't want anyway. But we grab a beer, we chat online, and it's a great opportunity for anyone. It's not just for men, but it's men on the screen talking about men stuff, whatever that might be. And again, we challenge the ideas of normality around being a man. And women, the ladies, said they would do their own version of it as well. But I've yet to see it. And when they do, I've offered to open the. Well, I don't know if this is an upgrade on what you were talking about, Debbie, but I've offered to officially open the lady cave which I think I'm going into some really awkward territory now when I say that out loud. But I'm going to be doing that in a gold mankini, and only a gold mankini. So prepare yourselves for me to open your lady cave in my gold mankini. I think Mrs. M is the only person who's ever heard that so far. I think God is only 3. That's a good point, Denise. Yes, it's probably English is one of the most rationalizing and life-draining languages in the world, isn't it? I mean, it's an amazing and beautiful language at times when it refers to the poetic and the divine. But that's a very interesting observation that in the English language, we managed to get it down to 3 words.
Yeah.
And in many other cultures, it might be more beautiful.
Well, in German we have 4.
Oh, okay. And what got with 2 T's, right?
2 T's, yeah. But if you turn God around, it's dog.
Of course. And you only have to look into your dog's eyes to see the divine, right? Absolutely. Yeah. Iris, God is just as real as you and me, Carl. So don't be afraid to talk of him. And he does have a name too. Thank you very much, Iris, for that. Speak more Portuguese instead of English because we have less spit and more throat sounds. I'm doing my best, Rita. Bom dia.
It's Deus.
Yes. Adios. Of course, to God. Dios. Beautiful. Dios is a lovely sound for sure. Oh, I can feel it. Bon dia alegria from Linda. I'm overwhelmed by the anniversary wishes this morning and also from the wine show. Thank you all, feeling best as you must rightly be this morning. Blessed and loved, Linda. Thank you so much for your comment. We have a saying, actions speak louder than words, says Jacqueline. It's true, isn't it? It's all very well talking about it. And that's, this is a talk show to some extent, but we do urge you. And but Jenny will be offering some homework, I suspect, as well. So yes, the actions do speak louder than words, and she'll send you out into the world, not only to kiss people on the forehead, but do other things as well. Namaste, all you pilgrims. Thank you, UB. Just tuned in, and Jenny looks happy with a professional-looking backdrop. There she goes. Look at her. You've changed, Jenny. In the Bible, it says that when people started speaking different languages, it was to confuse humans. Yes, agree with being a kind of cursing. It's interesting what we've come to. And of course, we haven't always had language, I don't suppose, have we? Languages should be seen as an access to something and not an end in itself, right? Because that's part of the problem at the moment.
Yeah, and I really love that one comment. I can't remember who it was, but that rise in love and not fall in love. And if you really take it literal, I think this is another problem or a situation where long-term relationships can't really happen because it already says it. Falling in love means you kind of lose yourself. And that is, no relationship will go anywhere if you lose yourself on the way, as in putting the responsibility for your happiness on towards somebody else, your partner, your kids, whoever, your parents. It is self-responsibility. So again, staying with yourself and rising in your own love, and in that, letting somebody else in that space and rise together. That is how love should happen. But is it not as well our perception and our teaching of what love is, same as what healing is, same as what God is in our society and in our humankind, in lots of cultures, not just in Germany, not just in England, but very much our industrialized, civilized cultures who perceive it in such a... how do you say it, when you can't really grasp something, when you can't reach something, it's so far away. And also love is something active. You can't wait there till love falls down on you. Love is something active. If you want more love in your life, you need to give more love. If you want to be, if you want more happiness in your life, you got to start here. If you want more peace in the world, you got to start. Last homework, peace begins with you. So, so that's all these things. It's of course easier, and we all learn that, to blame the outside, saying, because of whatever, I can't do whatever. Classic, because my mom didn't love me the way she was supposed to, I'm just not able to have relationships. Okay, yeah. I get you. Yeah, you can live like that and always blame something, or but just a little tip there.
I think this is what you can look forward to in the transformation tent. She's not going to be. She's going to hear you and be compassionate, but she's not going to be tolerating any of that nonsense in the transformation tent, I suspect. Beautiful. No. Thank you, Jenny, for that. Bon dia both. The broadcast is becoming more and more interesting over time to my ears. All sorts of topics mentioned: food, wine, politics, bureaucracy, medical issues and treatments, and now spirituality. Keep it up. Absolutely. Jenni B is with me twice a month, Lisa. I thought this might be up your street. Elaine Godley, how did you get so sensible, Jenny? Yes, I want to know the answer to that. So right. People, especially Brits, seem always to look for the doggy do. They do, don't they? Let's raise our vibe. Be aware that do is everywhere and find ways around. Simples. Yes. How did you get to be so sensible, Jenny?
Now I have to sort in my head sensible and sensitive. Sensible is where you take on responsibility, isn't it?
Yes, and kind of we go back to the normal thing.
Yeah. So how did I got so sensible? I think, well, I have to admit, and I've just been talking with a client about that recently. My life roller coaster was particularly a lot of up and down, and particularly down when I was really little. We had this scratched up in the inner child thingy where my biological dad tuned in, and I've mentioned that he was one of the reasons why I had this roller coaster. So I've very early and very much been challenged with, like every one of us, been challenged with the choice of make myself comfortable down there in that hole where I'm not happy, not my needs are not fulfilled and all that, into, okay, who is actually going to be there to help me out? Why am I not trying it myself? And even though it's all stemmed in the fact of my old core belief of I have to do it alone, I need to be the strong one, la 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 la, that kind of forced me in being sensible really early. Of course, it took some time to get it into a healthy matter.
Yes.
For a very long time, it was really just functioning, not looking right or left, just being that prick I turned into in order to survive, turning ice cold, right? I don't care about you and I don't want you to care about me. Just let me do my thing. Wow. That was tough. I really toughened up, get the big pants on in order to go there, because I clearly say, in the past, for a very long time, I said my childhood up into my adolescence, I have not perceived as when I'm falling, there would be something to catch me. I always said there was the bare ground I would have landed on, smacked my bones. Yeah. In hindsight, I was there, and yeah. I always got me out of that.
Yeah.
And I really recommend anyone. I will make another workshop over that about that topic, hopefully in real life, but also in online one. That please draw yourself a lifeline. Go through all the really important bits of your life, whether positive or negative, and have a look at this line. You will see it is a roller coaster, but at the end, it was always you who got yourself out of that deep valley into the rising again. Yeah. You might say, oh, that was only because of that. That was because I met Miss M. This was because I got this job. But why did you met Miss M? Why did you got this job? Law of attraction. So if you believe, or if there's always this light within you that can be reignited anytime. It can't die. Our soul, our divinity. So this is always there, and it's not even about believing in the bigger. Like, I remember for such a long time I was being a Scarface. I only trust myself. I believe in myself. But anyways, it worked till a certain extent, and I think particularly after a certain age, we can all sign up for, and at some point in your life, there comes the day where you're not functioning anymore, where just the way you have done it so far is not working anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, you run against the wall and you think, well, why? I keep on doing it like this. And then you get a couple of bruises on your head and a couple of dents, and maybe you start bleeding, but you still run against that wall until life kind of forces you to rearrange your thinking and your behavior. This can be a big crisis, as in a midlife crisis. This can be an accident. This can be the loss of somebody. This can be a real big disease, or how do you call them?
Yeah, a health emergency would be.
Yeah, health emergency, and it slowly builds up. Huh?
Yeah.
I had this in my body language workshop as well. It's not as if your body is not constantly giving you signs for it, as in, oh, I always have this belly ache. Oh, I keep on having migraines. La la la. But we're like, yeah, I push that away. Oh yeah, I take the tablets. Oh yeah. And it's up to you. But most of us. And also because of our upbringing, we have learned to push all this aside and just function.
Yep.
You know, and
we could say that's normality. And that's
yes, exactly. Yes. And particularly what was said there with normal being boring in our society, and particularly when I was working in a pharmacy, when you stay home in a pharmacy, when you have a flu, your colleagues look at you and you say, you know exactly what you need to take in order to function. So why are you staying home? Well, because I allow my body to recover on its own without using that stuff because it's not helping. And it's also the patience. I've seen such a lovely podcast the other day. It was around the Day of the Earth as well, and it was this guy. It was called Garden Marcus, and he was really sweet, and he was talking about all these plants, and that, you know, our community around us is not just the human beings, it's any being. It's all the plants and animals and all that, and we all have a connection and an energy and a vibration. And I loved, there was this shaman the other day I heard speaking, and this is another really beautiful thing for all the people like me as well who say, I need to travel the world to get all this wisdom. Yeah, it's there. So all these people, these old indigenous people, these shamans, they have never been traveling anywhere. They've just stayed in the little village where they were, and they have all the knowledge. They know it all. So how come?
And the funny thing is, some of them probably just want to go to California and eat at McDonald's. Just because that's human nature, isn't it? Is to do what seems to be the exotic and other thing. But I get the point you're making completely there.
Yeah.
And you know, you were saying in the worst of times and in the best of times, you're always the chief suspect, aren't you? You're the common theme. If ever there's been a problem or a great thing happening in your life, there was some constant theme, and that's you, right?
Yeah, and you know, I think we've had this already, but it can't be said often enough. Life is a full spectrum. You can't expect to be extraordinarily happy if you've never been super sad. So if you have this neutral baseline, which some might call boring, that's okay. If you know that if you want to do that, go for it. But if you're seeking for more, if you're seeking for adventure, you need to do the first step. Yes. And I believe. And this is where I'm a bit, maybe it's just my reality at the moment, but this is always where I hit the wall when I think about or study some philosophies, either it is Vedanta, Buddhism, whatever. Mm. But most of them hit the point where it then says, you should not, or emotions are not real, or it's nothing to achieve, and they're more heading to this neutral baseline I was just talking about, whereas I'm thinking, oh my God, I am an emotional person. You are as well, Carl. You just said it doesn't take much for us too. But I think this for me personally makes so much of my life quality. I really love the fact that I can be so happily joyful now, and within 10 seconds I could as well cry because something really is happening. But that's beautiful, and I think this this, it is a bit of a childish thing, not negatively, just something that children do, which I think is so valuable, because that is living in the present moment.
Yes, yes.
And you, of course, you can decide whether you want to go in this emotion or not. But I believe that even sadness is good in order to enjoy the happiness that comes right afterwards. You know, and that is something where I hit the line with those philosophies, because I really like to be emotional. It is truly life quality and very normal for me. And it's also, I think, really sad, and for me disappointing, that in our society we are trained so much not to show any emotions. Not at all. Like English and Germans are way ahead of that. We're like,
Well, I saw a very interesting meme the other day where women are being accused of being emotional culturally, whereas men have legitimized their emotions. So anger is an acceptable emotion if it's expressed by men in certain situations. It's seen as a kind of normal or healthy thing. And I thought, hold on a minute, that's absolutely right. That is, so we, it's in the culture we've made the emotions that we can't or won't control okay because we do it, whereas other people's emotions, like, no, we haven't got time for that. Can you go and do that somewhere else, please? Or take a pill for it or something like that. Yeah. And this is very interesting. I guess it's the transformational use of emotion, isn't it? Rather than I feel like I want to say as well, it's not great when we take our emotions out on other people, but this is the difference between responsible and owning these things, isn't it? And authentically going through them. I saw you the other day when you were celebrating Earth Day, and you were so overwhelmed by the beauty of the earth. That was such an authentic and wonderful thing, and you weren't, that wasn't being. You weren't taking it out on anybody, which is, another part of emotions, isn't it? Which has become acceptable. I think that is something that we could look at in our societies, how we legitimize how emotions happen, and then it's okay to take it out on other people, which I don't think it is. But this is the rich world, isn't it? Is it transformational? Is it useful? Is it being worked with positively, or are you just being an a-hole taking it out on other people? This is a great conversation to have, isn't it? And we can have that conversation in our relationships, in our families, at work. Wouldn't that be an amazing place? It's like someone, okay, I get it, you're upset. Now, you took it out on me, but I don't think you meant to, right? Am I right? And it's like, yeah, you're right. I just got I've got a build up, I've got stuff going on at home, I'm sorry about that. It's all right, we're all good. But it doesn't tend to happen like that, does it? It goes day after day, week after week, until somebody kills someone else at work or something like that. So it would be so good to have that authentic relationship.
I truly agree, and it is again goes down to the fact that one of them in that conversation needs to show themselves vulnerable. And I think what you've just been saying, I believe a perfect example, and you as a dad of 3, you will know children are such a great mirror and such a great teacher. And then as a parent, you decide every time they're challenging you, whether you put your emotion onto them or you take it, think about it. And how does Vera F. Birkenbiel, she's a great psychologist, unfortunately dead already, but she was very German in the way she transported the information. So straight out the hip, full on, no question. And she kept saying, if something triggers you more than 15 seconds, you may look within yourself, where is the actual issue? What is triggering you? And exactly what you said with putting it out on other people, which is most of the time. If you're grumpy, if you're moaning, that's only the discomfort and this dissatisfaction you feel within yourself, and then you project it on others. And it happens so easily. Speaking about this over-adaptiveness we tend to slide into in a relationship as well, then you do things you're actually not coherent with, and you get this clear gut feeling of, no, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do that. And if you still do it without communicating that is something that you actually don't like to do, but you do it because you like the person, or it makes them happy, but speaking about it, if you're just doing it silently, grumbling inside yourself, like you said, it builds up until you kill somebody, or next day you might feel depressed. and you wonder why. And
Yeah.
then, of course, particularly in a system like a family or where you live really close together, of course, you can't get around to interact with each other's emotions and vibes and all that. You can't just run around with a glass dome on top of you, which is sometimes really helpful, but not something that should be happening all the time. As well, what you said with, of course, it can happen that you bring it out to that you put it out on other people, but then being as reflected to actually think about it and not going in defense mode right away. That is so important as well, because that defense mode is usually our inner child that has been hurt at some point, and it's like, no, I'm not doing that again. Because of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that 15-second idea. Fabulous. We have lots of comments and probably some questions, Jenny. Marvelous. That pendant looks very local. It is so beautiful. Was it made in Portugal?
Yeah.
Your beauty there, it is fantastic. Gary, sometimes words alone can't convey how beautiful something or someone is. It just is. Absolutely right, Gary. And that's a lovely moment, isn't it, where it's just like beyond words. It's truly transcendent. It's an awareness, isn't it, rather than an elaboration or an utterance of some sort verbally. Only one thumbs up. Yeah, come on, let's have some love for Jenny here, everybody, please. Good reminder, Paul. Maria Costa, interesting on the bone carving. My goodness, sorry, we're going to catch up with you all now. One of the few things my parents brought from Portugal with them to Canada was a tooth from the last whale my whale hunting father caught. Wow, one tooth for each child. When my father was ill and on his deathbed, we took all of our whale teeth to an indigenous carver, and he carved each of us a spirit guide to be with our father. Mine is an eagle. How lovely, Maria. Goosebumps there. If you could answer that question, Jenny, you would be on Oprah. Which one was that? She should be on Oprah. It's only a matter of time. Maybe she won't go on Oprah. I don't know. Maybe the Gateses are going to get in touch with Jenny and go to the transformation tent. I mean, come on. I don't want to be critical, but what a cop-out. What a load of old hooey, the Gateses. We don't think we can grow anymore in this relationship. Oh, come on. Thanks, guys. I think my normal is slightly abnormal. Would it have it no other way? Absolutely, Susan. Like Carl, Sid, it's hard to know what to say except, this is to Susan, except the worst passes and the memories and love remain. Thank you, Mark. Debbie Doos, smiley face from Penny to Debbie Doos. I think that's about my mankini. The myth of constant growth is insane when you step back and look at it objectively. It's unsustainable, says Georginia. I think our society needs to find a way to attach more value to stuff like kindness and community. And let's hope that is part of whatever we are describing it as the post-pandemic new normal. I think we've been taught a thing or two about that. Man cave and she shed. That's how we roll. Woman cave. Oh, yes. Don't encourage them, Elaine. I do this already and it's fab. Wine may be involved. Let's do this. I have a private platform and so we can talk on video. Perfect for Carl to show his gold. I am suddenly a little bit scared, actually, after that. We had a meeting already, so be careful what you say, Carl. Carl will have to go public with Mankini, but he asked me to tell him when show goes on air, as he has to buff up in the gym first. I'm not going to bother with that. After what Jenny said, you're going to get me as I am.
Very good, Carl.
No Insta, no Photoshop, just authentic beer belly and everything. Not everything, but beer belly. Life is a journey, but the destination is questionable. Very good philosophy from Yorkshire this morning. I'd love to read the Yorkshireman's Guide to Loving Relationships. One I heard a long time ago, which will cause some controversy, I think, here, is keep them well fed and poorly shod, which Paul might appreciate. It was from a few decades ago. I love the sentiment that I am a spirit on my human journey, Penny. Absolutely. And that's why there's always a twinkle in her eye, everybody. To show your love to someone else, you should give them encouragement to grow and develop as an individual. Thank you, Linda. Allow them, of all days, you get to speak on this as an authority. Allow them to have their own ideas and opportunities, and you'll gain so much from this yourself. Yes, Gary. I noticed while I was out in the yard at the back of the house how sunny and private it was, not overlooked by anyone. I'm thinking maybe this is a great place to try the study in the alley experience. Yes, Gary, I recommend it, as you know, and I have further pictures of other people enjoying this. I mean, not in a creepy way, but people demonstrating this particular yoga technique. Everyone blends together emotions and sensations. I like to be sensational. Yes, very good, Stephen. Emotion is good for our health. People I mentor towards recovery from cancer struggle to heal when they don't address old emotion they've carried with them for years. Emotion retained in the body manifests as illness. And Elaine, you have the T-shirt. I mean, that is your own journey, of course, isn't it? When we spoke before on the show, an incredible woman is Elaine Godley, and what a surname to have. Godly by name, godly by nature, I suspect. Emotions are like water flowing from the tap. Not allowing full flow will mess up the plumbing. It also makes the carpet very wet and mouldy, possibly. All emotions are needed. Only joking, Susan, for sure. Absolutely. Let it flow. Don't bottle it up. Because you know what happens to a tap that hasn't been turned on for years. Totally agree. One of the changes in my views during lockdown has been the realization that stuff just isn't important. Family and friends are. Thank you, Ian, for that. Good morning to you. Sorry, Jordinja, trying to read in full sunshine. That's tricky. That's what people have said to me recently. Do a show about how rubbish Portugal is. Okay, rubbish thing about Portugal. It's so sunny here. Sometimes you can't see your own mobile phone. How's that? I have got to be there when you two guys finally meet for the first time. It'll be like watching two supernovas going off simultaneously. Stand back, Jordinja. Cheers, Ian. Where are we? Transcendent. What a great word for a Friday morning. Yes, the tent of transcendence is officially open now. With a nice thumbs up. And look at this. Denise or Vinny. I. That's a simple. I like that. I. It is like I am. I see you. The pendant looks like New Zealand Maori. That's exactly what it is. Yep, as in local to New Zealand there. Yep. Jenny, your mandala pendant looks Maori to me. Is your friend from New Zealand? I used to have a similar one. We can't give away the identity of the carver, but it is Maori in inspiration, I'm sure. Bon dia, brilliant show from Fiona Wright. Good morning to you, Fiona. Well, I think we're going in. Somebody said earlier on, didn't they? Actions speak louder than words. Please, if you've been moved by anything in the show so far, put it into practice. You know, by the very nature of a chat show that we have on the mornings here, it is all talk, literally. But we do encourage people to take action as well. And I'm sure Jenny's got some exercises or further insight, which you would love you to, and I would love you to practice as you go into the weekend, as you enjoy your bon fin de semana. So should we conclude with something along those lines, Jenny? How about turning this into action?
Yeah, very good, very good. Thanks for all the comments again, people. Thank you for bringing yourselves in, and I always appreciate as well when you share whichever way you're moved by. And thanks, Elaine, as well for that comment with the emotions and the old emotions. That is something I also do with my work, because I believe we all carry constantly a lot of trapped emotions with us, like we've been saying earlier. Sometimes you are in a situation where you just can't release whatever you're feeling, whether it is because it wouldn't be socially acceptable, whether it would be because you only bring your own grief or shit onto the other person, and it's actually you, but you then don't go inside of it. You just go over it again and go on with your day, and then the time might be past where it's actually available to release, and then it gets stuck somewhere in your body. Typical, if you swallow a lot of anger, you usually get something with your stomach. Particularly men have that issue very often, because men, as the people who are allowed to show anger, but still not very often do. And something I wanted to say in that regard, what you've been mentioned earlier, I think it's really interesting. Also, that the other day I've been listening to a podcast, and this person was writing a book about Genesis, so the balance again in your femininity and your masculinity, and finding this, and not easy as well with the stereotype we've all been growing up. And I thought the most interesting fact, he was saying that men have, by their upbringing, never learned to care for themselves emotionally.
Wow.
The same way women have learned that at the end of the day, they might have to do it alone anyway. And as soon as they open up with their shit, and it's not all just smiley and lovely and look at me and my boobs and and I care for your children and all that. And yeah, as soon, as the box of Pandora opens and they go like, actually, Carl, you know what I just said, my first couple of years, I'm proud that I be that I am the phoenix I am, risen out of that, but I could as well lie underneath a bridge with a syringe in my arm. Like a lot of people would. And so finding this pride, finding the hero in your own story, I think this is something really, really valuable nobody can take of you. It's like, and then if what happens quite often, and I found it interesting that he as a man said that when women then open up this box of Pandora and I share it with you as my partner, then what happens quite often is that the man says, you know what, I really got to go, bye. Because most often it's stemmed in the fact that they want to look up their own shit and they believe that then they are responsible for that, which is not the case. You just feel safe and you want to share it with the one you feel the most safe with. So it's actually, guys, if that happens, oh my God, take it as a blessing, because that means you are her anchor. Like, she feels safe with you. Yes. Take that as a blessing, build it up as the connection, and what Linda just said there, allow the other one to rise and rise then together in love. That's the most beautiful thing that happens. And even when I say it, I get goosebumps. And when this happens to you, you know, it's again like, of course it can end. If there's something constant in life, then it is change. But instead of wasting time and energy and all that into what could possibly happen in the worst case, try to be in the present moment and praise what you have there and then, because nobody can take away this experience from you. Nobody can take away this moment where this family, I think it was Susan, was sitting all around the deathbed of their dad and they got these whale teeth. Nobody can take away that moment of Gary and Linda at the sunset at the Seychelles when they've been married there. Nobody can take away these moments we have here together when we cry and laugh and all that, and everybody who shares it with us. Yeah. So try to be as present as you can, and as this little homework to practice and maybe get a little more awareness for yourself, and also allow yourself to have the emotions without them controlling you. But you control them in that healthy matter of still living them. If you notice next time you're triggered by something, by somebody in the row on the till in front of Lidl's, by your family, by your kid, by your neighbor, when you're triggered, try to get out your own perspective and try to go in like a third person's perspective and try to look at the whole situation from the outside. And soon you will notice, oh, silly. and then it's also absolutely okay, you know, if the word has already been said, if the emotion has already been transported onto the other one, it's also still okay. And to say, you know what, that was stupid. That was really stupid. I'm sorry. And this is moral relief for yourself than it is for the other person. The other person knows already, oh, okay, I don't have to take that person. That was just stupid. He might be in a mood or whatever. Yeah. So this apology might be really hard, but at the end, it's creating peace within yourself, and then also a ripple effect, the peace outside of you and in your close environment, and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So speaking about peace begins with you. Try to get in the third person perspective whenever you feel triggered with something, and yeah.
I think that's lovely. To me, it'll be like, you know, you feel something rising in you for 15 seconds, and you say, "What's that about?" The third person perspective that you're talking about, and then you can hear Jenny's voice in your head saying, "Silly," and I would love to have that on my ringtone or on my phone. I could just press it and go, "Silly." And the other, how this all connects up really beautifully, I think, Jenny, is that this idea of marriage. You know, the one of the methods of getting married is the hand fasting, where people have a rope tied around their two hands. You know, the two partners getting married have the rope bound around their wrists, and it's called a hand fasting. And this refers to what you're talking about. I think, you know, when stuff gets real, when the proverbial hits the fan, you can see that you're bound together. And it's very interesting, you know, the male, female, the archetypes here at work in a relationship, you know, whether you're two women or two men, whatever it is, but this male and female energy of the male energy, not taking it personally, but being there to hold it because you're bound together. And similarly with the female energy, I can only speak from a male perspective, but when a woman is bound to you and says, I believe in you, or holds you in that way, those two things are so powerful. And it's what Linda says, isn't it? You can grow from that using these archetypes. And then if you're not in a relationship, you can do that in an internal marriage, can't you, of those forces, which I think you're just saying. It's like, you know, you can partner yourself. What was that? Is that your dog? Is your dog arrived to say, okay?
I don't know what happened.
We need to go for a walk now. That's our warning, everybody, from God backwards, the dog. But here we go. Can we say hello?
There he is. That's one. That's Hippie.
Hello.
That's Hippie.
Hippie. That means enlightened one, doesn't it, Hippie? Originally, so I'm sure.
And that's Carly.
Sausages. Okay. Oh, it's kicking off. It's kicking off with the transformation tent. They couldn't be in better.
The funny thing with Carly is that's his universal sound. That it's for playing, it's for being angry, it's for anything. That's just his sound. Yep.
Beautiful. Lovely to meet your dogs today. Let's go for these last few comments then. Absolutely wonderful. I am keen for a shed or batch. What is that? Is that like a stitch and bitch? Maybe that's let me know when. I just don't make it 6 a.m. in the morning like the man cave. I don't know what they're going to do about that. That's out of my pay grade and job description. I would love to hear your story, Jenny. I'm sure it would inspire others. Says Irish. I think go to the transformation tent, and I'm sure Jenny will share with you there. Sorry is such a powerful word. It's so true. I feel a song coming on. Thanks, Jenny. That's amazing advice. I will indeed be hearing that in your voice. And yes, Penny agrees. We all need Jenny's silly on our phone. I might be able to edit that out for everybody. I had a hand fasting at where are we? We're at 1 hour 17, so it was about 1 hour 15 if you need it again, everybody. I had hand fasting at Rainbow Lodge. It was amazing. That sounds like fun, Debbie Doos. Susan, I love your approach, Jenny. Therapy helped me on numerous occasions. It led to a prenatal therapy for traumas before I was born. Wow. Mum had a rough pregnancy. It was fascinating and healing. Still claustrophobic though. Wow, Susan, thank you for sharing that. And from the sublime to the ridiculous, to finish on, I think here, no Photoshop or sock down the front of the mankini, Carl. You're brave. I'm so sorry that we have to leave everybody with that image. But we
don't.
That's
we don't.
If anybody needs counselling about that or therapy, you know, Jenny's the obvious choice. She's your go-to woman. Jenny, thank you so much. Been absolutely wonderful as usual talking to you. Have a beautiful weekend. Bon fin de semana. A parting word as usual from you. Go on.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Carl. All the best again for all the people who are celebrating. And don't forget, like I was saying in the Day of the Earth as well, celebrate any given moment we have there. Try to be there and appreciate what there is. And then you have all you got and all you need.
Namaste a todos. Ciao, ciao.